The year was 2147. A small human research station sat on a quiet border planet called Epsilon Green. The planet had gray rocks, thin yellow grass, and 2 weak suns that made long shadows every day. Humans had built the station 10 years ago to study plants and minerals. They did not expect visitors from far away. One morning, alarms sounded softly in the control room. Sumin, the lead scientist, looked at the big screen. A silver ship shaped like a smooth leaf came down from the sky. It landed gently on the flat ground outside. No weapons showed, no loud engines, just quiet grace. Sumin turned to the man next to her. "Ji-hoon, they are here, the Illyrians." Ji-hoon stood tall in his gray security suit. He had short black hair and calm dark eyes. Scars ran across his left cheek from an old fight on another world. He checked his side pistol, then nodded. "I read the files. Telepaths, mind readers. They like to touch heads to say hello." Sumin smiled a little. She had long hair tied back and wore a white lab coat over her jumpsuit. "It is their way to show trust. We should be polite. Earth Command wants friends, not enemies." Ji-hoon grunted. "Polite is good, but if they dig too deep in my head, they might not like what they find." They walked out through the airlock. The air smelled dry and a bit sweet from the local plants. 5 Illyrians stepped from their ship. They were tall and thin, with skin that glowed soft blue and green like light under water. Their eyes were large and bright, no pupils, just shining color. Long silver hair moved even when there was no wind. The leader walked forward. His voice came clear in their minds, not from his mouth. "Greetings, humans of Earth. I am Kale. We come in peace, to speak of alliance." Sumin bowed a little. "Welcome. I am Sumin, scientist. This is Ji-hoon, our security chief. We are happy to meet you." Kale looked at Ji-hoon for a long moment. "You carry weight in your thoughts, human. Strength. We respect that." Ji-hoon gave a small nod. He did not smile. Another Illyrian stepped closer. She was smaller than Kale, with brighter glow to her skin. Her eyes looked like stars caught in glass. "I am Lyra. I am the one who will do the mind touch. It is our custom. One touch to share truth and build trust." Sumin raised her hand. "We read about this, but we must warn you. Human minds are different, not calm like yours. We have a lot of noise inside." Lyra tilted her head. Her silver hair floated. "All species say they are different. We have touched many. Predators, thinkers, even machines that dream. We are ready." Ji-hoon looked at Sumin. She gave him a tiny nod. He stepped forward 1 step. "Okay, do it." Lyra moved slowly. She raised one long, thin hand. A soft light came from her fingertips, like warm mist. She placed her fingers gently on Ji-hoon's temple. The touch felt cool at first, like river water on a hot day. For a second, nothing happened. Then Lyra's eyes grew wide. Inside Ji-hoon's mind, she saw streets of old Seoul at night. Neon lights flashed red and blue. Young Ji-hoon ran with friends, laughing loud after a fight, blood on his knuckles, pride in his chest. Then the memory changed fast. Explosions on a desert moon, friends screaming names, Ji-hoon pulling a wounded man through dust while bullets flew. Pain, anger, a promise never to break. More came, quick flashes, a mother singing an old song while cooking spicy food, the smell of kimchi and rice, tears at a funeral. Then joy, dancing badly at a party with too much soju, a stupid joke that made everyone laugh until they cried. Then dark thoughts, nights alone wondering if anything mattered. Then fire again, stubborn fire, the kind that says no to death itself. It was not neat, not quiet, not a straight line of thoughts like Illyrian minds. It was a storm, loud, mixed, full of opposites, love next to hate, fear next to courage, memes about cats popping up between memories of war, a song lyric repeating, I will survive. Then rage, pure hot rage at things that tried to kill him and failed. Lyra's hand shook. She tried to pull back, but the storm pulled her in more. Jihoon's mind did not fight her, it just was. Endless, alive, too much at once. She saw a man who fell down many times, but always stood up, who laughed when he should cry, who hoped when logic said stop, who carried every hurt like a badge, and every joy like a weapon. Her own mind, clean, ordered, peaceful, started to crack. A small sound came from her throat, not words, a sharp gasp. Sumin stepped closer. Lyra, are you okay? Jihoon stood still. He felt the touch like a cool wind in his head, not painful, just strange. He looked down at the alien. Told you, he said quietly in standard tongue. We're messy. Lyra's glow flickered, blue to white to dim. Her large eyes filled with something new. Fear, wonder, both. Her fingers tightened on his temple for one last second. Then she screamed. The scream was not loud in air, it was loud in minds. A sharp psychic wave rolled out. Kale and the other Illyrians grabbed their heads. Sumin felt pain behind her eyes, and stepped back. Lyra's body shook. Her hand dropped. She fell backward like a cut tree. She hit the ground hard. Her glow went almost out. Only tiny sparks moved under her skin. Jihoon knelt fast. He checked her breathing. Slow, but there. He looked up at Kale. She went too deep. I warned you. Kale stared, shocked. What did you do? Jihoon stood up. Nothing. I just stood here. She touched me. That's all. The Illyrians pulled Lyra gently back to their ship. Their graceful steps looked shaky now. Kale looked back once. This changes things. We will speak again, but not today. The silver ship rose quietly. It disappeared into the yellow sky. Sumin touched Jihoon's arm. You okay? He rubbed his temple. A small smile came. Yeah. Felt like someone turned on every radio in my head at once. But I'm fine. Sumin looked at the sky where the ship went. They never felt anything like us before. Jihoon nodded, and they never will. The two humans walked back inside the station. The door closed with a soft hiss. Outside, the two suns kept shining. The gray rocks stayed silent. Lyra's fingers stayed on Jihoon's temple for only 3 more heartbeats. To her, those heartbeats felt like hours. At first, the touch was familiar. She had done this many times with other species. Their minds opened like calm rooms. Thoughts stood in neat rows. Emotions came in soft colors, easy to read and gentle to touch. She could walk through them like a garden path. Jihoon's mind was not a room. It was not a garden. It was a roaring sea during a storm. The moment she pushed deeper, waves crashed over her. Not one wave, thousands. They came from every direction at once. She saw a boy, no more than 10, running down a narrow street in an old part of Seoul. Rain poured hard. His shoes slapped wet ground. He laughed loud because he had just won a race against bigger boys. Pride burned bright in his chest like a small sun. Then the scene flipped fast. The same boy, older now, stood in a dark alley. A knife flashed, blood on his hand. Not his blood. Fear mixed with cold anger. He did not run. He stepped forward. Lyra tried to hold on to one memory. Just one. But they moved too quick. Another flash. Jihoon in a small apartment. His mother hummed an old song while she stirred a pot of red stew. The smell of garlic and chili filled the air. Warmth wrapped around him like a blanket. Love so strong it hurt. Then cut to black space. A ship exploding. Friends' voices screaming over the radio. Jihoon, eject, eject. He stayed at the controls. He saved 3 lives that day. Lost 2. Guilt sat heavy like stone in his gut, but he never spoke of it. More came. Too much. A silly video he watched late at night, cats dancing to music. He laughed until tears came. Then a memory of standing on a hill after a battle. Bodies on the ground, smoke everywhere. He screamed at the sky. Not words. Just raw sound. Rage so hot it could melt steel. Right after, he sat down and ate cold rations like nothing happened. Hunger did not care about grief. Lyra's own thoughts started to shake. Her mind was trained to stay still, to observe, to sort. But Ji-hoon's mind did not let her sort. It threw everything at her. Joy crashed into sorrow. Hope fought despair. A memory of kissing a girl under cherry trees in spring came right next to the memory of watching that same girl leave forever. Pain and sweetness tangled together. No order, no end. She saw flashes of things that made no sense to her. A cartoon character yelling, "This is fine," while sitting in fire. Ji-hoon had thought of it during a hopeless mission. It made him smile when death was close. Another flash. Old music playing loud, Gangnam Style. He danced badly in a bar with friends. Everyone laughed. For one night, the war outside did not exist. Lyra felt her control slip. Her own memories, quiet meditations under blue stars, clean logic, peaceful consensus, looked small now, weak. She tried to pull away. Her fingers twitched. But the storm noticed. Not Ji-hoon himself. He stood calm. His face showed nothing. But his mind, it reached. Not on purpose. It just was too big, too alive. It wrapped around her like gravity. She felt the weight of every time he refused to quit. Every scar. Every laugh that came after tears. Every "I won't die today" thought screamed in silence. A new feeling hit her. Something she had never known. Awe. Then terror. Human minds were not broken. They were built wrong for telepathy. Or maybe built right. Too much life in one skull. Too many contradictions living together. Love that could kill. Hate that could save. Fear that made them brave. Hope that laughed at facts. Her skin flickered like a dying bulb. She saw one last clear image. Ji-hoon as a young soldier. Wounded, leg broken, trapped under metal. He should have given up. Instead he sang. A silly children's song. Loud, off-key, to keep his mind awake. To keep death away. He survived. That song echoed in her head now. It would not stop. Her hand jerked back. She opened her mouth. No sound came out at first. Then, it did. A scream. Not from her throat alone. From her mind. A psychic blast, shot out like lightning. It hit every Illyrian nearby. Kale dropped to one knee. The other three fell flat. Their minds rang like struck bells. Sumin felt sharp pain behind her eyes. She pressed her hands to her head and stepped back. Ji-hoon did not move. He felt only a faint buzz, like static on an old radio. He looked down at Lyra. She stood for half a second, eyes wide, mouth open, glow almost gone. Then her legs gave out. She fell backward. Her body hit the dry ground with a soft thud. Dust rose around her. Tiny sparks moved under her skin like fireflies dying. Ji-hoon knelt fast. He put 2 fingers on her neck. Pulse weak, but there, breathing shallow. He looked up at Sumin. "She okay?" Sumin asked. Her voice shook a little. Ji-hoon shrugged one shoulder. She touched something she wasn't ready for. Kale crawled forward. His graceful face looked broken now. Fear clear in his shining eyes. "What did you do to her?" Ji-hoon stood slowly. "I told you, human minds are messy." She went in anyway. The Illyrians moved like people in a bad dream. Her long silver hair dragged on the ground. Her glow was so faint now she looked almost human. Small. Fragile. Kale looked back at Ji-hoon one last time. This was not supposed to happen. "We will take her home. We will speak later." Ji-hoon nodded once. No anger, no triumph, just fact. The silver ship door opened. They carried Lyra inside. The ship rose without sound. It turned and climbed fast into the yellow sky. Soon it was only a silver dot, then gone. Sumin let out a long breath. That scream! I felt it in my bones. Jihoon rubbed his temple where Lyra touched. A small red mark stayed there. Yeah, felt weird in my head too, like someone opened every window at once. They stood quiet for a moment. Wind moved the thin yellow grass. The two suns made long shadows. Sumin looked at him. Do you think they'll come back? Jihoon stared at the sky. They will. Questions like that don't stay quiet. He turned and walked toward the station door. Sumin followed. Inside, the alarms had stopped. Lights were soft, normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. Outside on the gray rocks, a single footprint stayed in the dust. Lyra's, small, perfect. Next to it, Jihoon's bootprint, bigger, solid. Lyra's body lay still, on the floor of the Illyrian ship's medical room. The walls glowed soft white, like moonlight on water. Machines hummed quietly around her. Thin tubes of light connected to her arms and head. Her skin, usually bright blue and green, looked pale gray now. Only tiny sparks moved under it, slow and weak. Kale stood close. His large eyes stared down without blinking. The other Illyrians, 3 healers and 2 guards, waited in silence. No one spoke aloud. Their minds touched lightly, sharing worry like cold wind. One healer, a female named Mira, placed her hand over Lyra's forehead. A gentle blue light flowed from her palm. She searched inside Lyra's mind. What she found made her pull back fast. It is worse than we thought, Mira said to the others. Her thoughts are tangled. Pieces of the human are everywhere. Kale stepped closer. Show us. Mira connected them all in a careful link. They saw what Lyra saw now, even in her deep sleep. Flashes came, not Illyrian memories, human ones. Jihoon's face appeared again and again. Not just his face, his feelings. The stubborn push to keep going when everything said stop. The way he turned pain into fuel. A memory of him sitting alone after a battle, staring at stars, thinking, one more day, just one more. No logic, just will. Then laughter, sudden loud laughter in a dark place. Jihoon and his team hiding from enemies. Someone told a bad joke. They all laughed until they almost cried. Death was close, but for a moment, it did not matter. More came, Sumin's voice in Jihoon's memory. We keep trying because we can. Simple words, but they burned bright in Lyra's mind, like fire in dry grass. Kale felt his own thoughts shake. How can one mind hold so much? It should break. It does not break. It bends. It grows stronger from the bend. Lyra stirred. Her fingers twitched. A small sound came from her throat. Not a scream this time. A whisper. Her eyes stayed closed, but her mind spoke one clear word through the link. Endless. The word hit them like a wave. Endless. Not just big, not just deep. Endless. No walls, no edges, no quiet place to rest. Jihoon's mind had no center. It was storm all the way through. And yet it held together. It refused to fall apart. One of the guards, a tall male named Tor, turned away. We should never have touched them. They are poison to us. Kale looked at him sharply. No, not poison, something else. Something we do not understand. Lyra's eyes opened slowly. The shining color was dim, but there. She tried to sit up. Mira helped her. Lyra's voice came weak, spoken aloud this time, not in minds. The human, he did not fight me. He just was. She breathed hard. I saw everything at once. Good, bad, small things, big things, all mixed, no order, but strong. So strong. She looked at Kale. I felt his scars, not just on skin, inside. Every time he hurt, he kept going. Every time he lost, he found more to fight for. I could not sort it. I could not control it. It pulled me in. Tears, clear like glass, ran down her face. Illyrians rarely cried, but now she did. I saw hope, she said. Real hope, the kind that laughs at death. I saw rage that could destroy worlds, but he turns it to protect instead. I saw love so fierce, it hurts him. And he carries it anyway. She touched her own head. Now, some of it stays with me, like echoes. I feel different. Mira checked her again. Her mind is changing, not broken, rewritten in places. Human pieces are growing into her thoughts. Kale looked out the window of the ship. Stars moved past in slow lines. We must tell the council. All of it. Back on Epsilon Green, the human station was quiet. Night had come. The two suns were down. Stars filled the black sky. Jihoon sat in the small mess hall. A cup of hot tea steamed in front of him. Su-min sat across. She had changed into soft clothes. Her hair was down now. You think she's okay? Su-min asked. Jihoon stared into his tea. She screamed, fell. But she breathed. That's something. Su-min leaned forward. What did it feel like when she touched you? He thought for a moment. Like someone opened a door in my head. Wind came in. Not bad wind, just a lot. Then it stopped. Su-min smiled small. You didn't even flinch. He shrugged. Used to worse. They sat quiet, then Su-min spoke again. Earth Command wants a report. Full details. Jihoon nodded. Tell them the truth. Telepath touched me. Didn't like what she found. Passed out. Su-min laughed softly. That simple? That simple. Outside, wind moved the yellow grass. The station lights made warm yellow pools on the ground. On the Illyrian ship, far away now, Lyra lay back down. She closed her eyes, but she did not sleep yet. In her mind, a new thing grew. A small spark. Not Illyrian calm. Not clean order. It was human. Stubborn. Messy. Alive. She whispered to herself in the dark. Endless. The ship flew on. Toward home. Toward questions no one had answers for. Kale stood alone on the bridge. He looked at the stars. For the first time in his long life, he felt small. Not afraid. Just small. Because somewhere out there, on a gray planet with two suns, a single human stood, unchanged, unbroken, and his mind had touched something ancient and careful, and changed it forever. The galaxy felt bigger now, and louder. The Illyrian homeworld was called Aloria. It was a planet of soft lights and floating cities. Tall crystal towers rose from green seas. The air always smelled like fresh rain. No storms ever came. No loud noises. Everything moved in calm order. Lyra lay in a healing chamber high in one of the towers. The room had walls that changed color with her breathing. Slow blue when calm. Quicksilver when thoughts moved fast. Now the walls flickered between colors. Never steady. Healers worked around her. They wore long white robes. Their hands glowed as they sent gentle waves into her mind. They tried to sort the mess, to put things back in neat lines. But the mess would not go away. One healer, an old male named Vale, shook his head. The human touch left roots, deep ones. We can cut them, but she will lose part of herself. Kale stood at the door. He had not left since they returned. Do not cut. Let her keep it. We need to understand. Lyra opened her eyes. She sat up slowly. Her glow was brighter now, not the old soft blue-green. There were new sparks, sharp gold and red mixed in, like fire under water. I feel more, she said. Her voice was stronger. Not just calm, not just logic. There is fire now. It burns, but it does not hurt. It pushes. Vale looked worried. What do you see when you close your eyes? Lyra closed them. Jihoon, not just memories, feelings. His stubbornness lives in me now. I see a dark place. He was alone, hurt, ready to die. But a voice inside said no, just no, and he stood up. That no is in me too. She opened her eyes. I laughed today, in my sleep, a small laugh, like his. Just because. The healers looked at each other. Laughter was rare for Illyrians. It was not needed, not useful. Kale stepped closer. Tell the council. All of it. They must know. Word spread fast on Aloria. Minds linked across the planet. Stories flew like light. The human mind had broken one of their best telepaths. Not with weapons, not with force, just by being itself. The council met in a great hall of clear crystal. Thousands of Illyrians sat in rows. Their thoughts formed a soft hum in the air. Kale spoke first. He showed them images from Lyra's mind. Jihoon's scars, his laughter and danger, his rage turned to protection, his hope that refused to die. The council watched in silence. Then questions came. One elder asked, "Is this a weapon? Did humans hide this power?" Kale answered, "No, it is not hidden, it is natural. They do not control it, they just live it." Another asked, "Can we touch others? Test it?" They decided to try, carefully. They invited telepaths from allied species. First, a lone mind from the Vexari, tall beings with crystal heads. Their thoughts were like clear glass, beautiful, empty of mess. One Vexari touched a human volunteer on a neutral station. The human was a young engineer named Minsok. He thought of simple things, fixing machines, eating noodles, missing his dog back on Earth. The Vexari touched, froze, pulled back, fell silent for 3 days. When he woke, he said one word: chaos. Next, a hive mind from the Zoroth cluster. They thought as one, no single voice, perfect order. They sent one small part to touch a human child. The child was drawing pictures, happy colors. The hive mind entered, saw joy, saw sudden fear of monsters under the bed, saw the child hug a toy and say, "I'm brave." Contradiction. The hive mind screamed in many voices at once. Half their cluster shut down for a week. Word reached the Galactic Council. Species that never feared anything now feared one thing: humans. On Earth, Jihoon and Sumin sat in the station's comm room. A blue screen showed messages from High Command. Sumin read aloud. "They want full logs, every detail. Also, samples of human brain scans. They think we have a natural psychic shield." Jihoon drank coffee from a metal cup. "Shield? I just stood there." Sumin smiled. "Exactly. That's the shield. No training, no tech, just us." Jihoon looked out the window. Stars shone cold and bright. "They think we're dangerous now?" "Not dangerous," Sumin said. "Unreadable, uncontrollable. To a telepath, that's worse." Jihoon thought about Lyra, the way she fell, the scream. She didn't mean harm. She was curious. Sumin nodded. "And now she's changed. Maybe for good. Maybe she carries a piece of you." Jihoon rubbed his scar. "Hope she likes spicy food then." They both laughed. Small, real. On Aloria, Lyra walked alone in a garden of glowing flowers. The flowers opened and closed in perfect rhythm. She touched one. It did not change. But inside her something did. She felt a new thought rise. Not Illyrian, human. What if calm is not the highest thing? What if storm is strength? She smiled, small at first, then wider. She laughed again, louder this time. The sound bounced off crystal walls. Flowers trembled. A healer came running. "Lyra, are you hurt?" She shook her head. "No, I am awake." She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, a human stood on a gray rock planet. Unchanged. But he had changed her world forever. And she was not afraid anymore. She was curious. She wanted to learn more. She wanted to touch the storm again. Not to break it, to join it. Months passed since the first meeting on Epsilon Green. The galaxy had changed in quiet ways. Telepathic species spoke in low voices about humans. Words like unreadable and dangerous floated through council meetings. No one attacked. No one declared war. They just watched and waited. Then the machines came. They appeared first on the edge of known space. Black spheres the size of small moons, silent, endless. They did not speak. They did not demand. They simply absorbed. Minds first, then ships, then worlds. The machines were old, older than most stars, built by a forgotten race to clean the galaxy of disorder. They saw thought as data. Orderly data was kept. Chaotic data was erased. Telepathic species fell fast. Their minds were clean gardens, easy to map, easy to delete. Illyrian ships went dark, one by one. Vexari crystal heads cracked open like glass. Zorath hives screamed in perfect unison before going quiet forever. Panic spread. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Voices overlapped in minds and words. "We need weapons," one said. "Weapons fail," another answered. "They eat energy. They eat minds." "Then what?" A small voice spoke. Lyra's. She stood in the center of the crystal hall. Her glow now held steady gold sparks. No more flicker. "Humans," she said. "We need humans." The council stared. Some minds recoiled. Others leaned in. Kale stood beside her. "She is right. Their minds are storms. The machines cannot process storms." A vote came fast. Messengers were sent. Fast ships. Urgent signals. On Epsilon Green, Ji-hoon was fixing a broken sensor array outside the station. Sweat ran down his face, despite the cold wind. Sumin worked beside him, handing tools. A silver Illyrian shuttle landed without warning. She looked different. Taller somehow. Stronger. Her eyes held the same starshine, but now mixed with something fierce. Ji-hoon wiped his hands on his pants. "You look better." Lyra smiled. Small, real. "I am better, because of you." Sumin stepped forward. "What's happening?" Lyra's voice was calm, but urgent. "The Devourers. Ancient machines. They consume minds. Our fleets are gone. Our people are gone. We ask for help." Ji-hoon looked at the sky. Stars seemed colder now. "What kind of help?" Lyra met his eyes. "Your presence. Your minds. The machines cannot understand contradiction. Chaos. They short out when faced with it." Sumin frowned. "You want us to stand there?" "Yes," Lyra said. "Just exist near them. Be human." Ji-hoon thought for a moment, then nodded. "Okay. But we don't go alone. We take teams, volunteers only." Earth answered fast. Ships came. Not warships. Science vessels. Transport cruisers. Filled with ordinary people. Soldiers. Scientists. Teachers. Farmers. Anyone who said yes. They called them mind shields. No armor. No guns. Just people. The fleet gathered at a jump point near the machine's path. Ji-hoon stood on the bridge of the lead ship, the handbit. Sumin was beside him. Lyra stood on the other side. Scouts reported. The machines approached a small colony world. Already half the population gone. Minds erased. Bodies left standing like empty shells. Ji-hoon gave the order. "Jump." The fleet came out of hyperspace in tight formation. The black spheres hung in space like holes in the stars. They turned slowly. No weapons fired. Just a pull. A silent hunger. Humans launched small shuttles. Dozens. Each carried 10 people. No shields, no defenses, just open channels. Minds wide. Ji-hoon rode in the first shuttle. Lyra sat beside him. She did not touch him this time. She just watched. The shuttle doors opened. Vacuum suits sealed. They floated out. A line of humans in bright orange suits, small against the black giants. The machines noticed. A wave rolled out. Not physical, mental. It reached for order, for clean data. It hit the humans, and stopped. Inside the machine's cores, processors screamed. Data streams twisted. Contradictions flooded in. One human thought of his wife's smile while holding a dying friend, love and grief at once. Another remembered a bad joke, told at a funeral, laughter through tears. A child in a suit drew pictures in her mind of home, bright colors against fear. Ji-hoon thought of spicy ramen after a long day, simple joy, then flashed to the scar on his cheek, pain, then back to ramen. No order, just life. The machines tried to sort it, failed, tried again. Sparks flew inside their black shells. Circuits burned. Silent explosions rippled through their hulls. Lyra felt it. She closed her eyes. They are breaking. They cannot hold the storm. One sphere cracked. Light poured out, then another, then 10. Black shells shattered like glass. Pieces floated away into nothing. The fleet watched. No cheers at first. Just quiet. Then someone on the Hanbit started clapping. Slow, then faster. Soon the whole bridge, ships linked comms. Applause rolled across the void. Ji-hoon floated back to the shuttle. Lyra followed. Her face was calm, but eyes bright. "You did it," she said. Ji-hoon took off his helmet too. We just stood there. She touched his arm. Light, careful. You stood as you are. That was enough. Back on the Hanbit, Sumin waited. She hugged Ji-hoon quick. "Told you we're messy." He smiled. "Yeah." The machines kept coming for weeks. Humans met them every time. Small groups, ordinary people. Their minds, full of dreams, fears, jokes, regrets, hopes, tore the ancient order apart. In the end, the last sphere hung silent. It did not attack. It just stopped, then drifted away, lost. The galaxy breathed again. On Aloria, Lyra stood on a high balcony. Stars above, green seas below. She looked changed, gold sparks permanent now in her glow. Kale joined her. "They saved us." She nodded. Not with power, with being. She thought of Ji-hoon, his shrug, his calm, yeah, his storm that refused to end. She whispered to the night, "Thank you." Far away, on Earth now, Ji-hoon sat on a park bench. Normal sky, normal sun. Kids played nearby. He drank a cold beer. Sumin sat beside him. "Think they'll call again?" she asked. Ji-hoon looked up. "Maybe." He smiled small. "But if they do, we'll just be us." She laughed. "Messy." "Yeah," he said. "Messy." And somewhere in the stars, a telepath who once screamed, now smiled, because she had touched the storm and found it beautiful.